Top local story. First Lady Michelle Obama will be paying a visit to Rhode Island this afternoon, helping to lay the keel for a new naval submarine at Quonset Point. Eyewitness News reporter Brian Yacono's been working this story all day long. He joins us now live with the very latest from the mobile newsroom.
Good afternoon. In this hangar just behind me, the stage is set now for the arrival of First Lady Michelle Obama. And as the ship's sponsor, the belief that goes along with that position is that her spirit and her presence will help guide the new submarine. We're taking you inside the now secured hangar to show you where First Lady Michelle Obama will speak in just over an hour. The Illinois, an attack submarine, is being built at Electric Boat. The First Lady from Illinois will have her initials etched into a piece of steel and then mounted onto the submarine. It's one vessel in the largest naval shipbuilding contract in U.S. history. Senator Reid says 3,000 people will have work through the contract.
It took us a while to convince and coax the Navy to get this contract done, but once they did it, we have the firm commitment by the Navy to see this through over the next several years to build these ships.
We last saw the First Lady in Rhode Island in 2011 for a campaign fundraiser for the president and a roundtable discussion with military spouses. Her dedication to supporting military families is one of the reasons Mrs. Obama was selected to sponsor the Illinois. And we do have a crew inside that hangar right now. They've been cleared by the Secret Service. Susan Campbell is following the First Lady's ceremony throughout the afternoon. With the South County Mobile Newsroom, Brian Yacono, Eyewitness News.
And you can count on Eyewitness News to bring you full coverage of First Lady Michelle Obama's visit to Rhode Island. We'll be streaming her remarks live on WPRI.com and have an update on this afternoon's coverage starting on Eyewitness News live at 5.
And by keeping the seas safe and free for all nations, you're fueling the engine of our global economy as well. In fact, 90% of our goods worldwide are carried by water. And that cargo literally puts food on the table for millions of American families every single day. So in a very real way, our nation depends on the Navy's constant forward presence all around the world. But I know that folks aren't always aware of the kind of sacrifices you all are making. Because even when we're at war and we hear about boots on the ground, the image that comes to mind is usually men and women on combat patrols or riding in Humvees or parachuting into danger in the dead of night. We often don't hear about folks like you deployed at sea, hundreds of feet below the waves. So we have no idea that for months at a time, you don't see the sun or breathe fresh air. We have no idea that you all go for weeks with no phone calls, no texts, no Skype sessions with your kids. And that brings me to your families. For a long time, I was one of those Americans who didn't really know much about the service and sacrifice of military families like yours, the emotional toll of long and multiple deployments, the spouses putting their careers on hold, the kids starting up in a new school every couple of years, having to make new friends and readjust. But even though you don't always get the recognition you deserve, our Navy and our Navy families always keep moving forward, always doing the hard work of protecting our freedom. As one Navy spouse told me a few weeks ago, she said, "You just keep marching. You just keep marching." So it is no wonder that you all are known as the silent service. But I want you to know that every day, your service speaks volumes. And one of my most important roles as First Lady is to make sure people know that. You all are the reason why 3 years ago, Jill Biden and I started joining forces, because we wanted to make sure to honor and support service members, veterans, and military families like yours. Absolutely.
5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5
It has truly been one of my greatest privileges getting to know these families. And I just want you to know that we're going to keep serving and supporting you in the years ahead, long after the wars are over. So in many ways, this submarine represents not only a new vessel for our Navy, but a new chapter for our country. In the years ahead, we may not have brigades deployed to outposts in the middle of a desert, but no matter what, we will have sailors like all of you looking out for us around the globe. You're the sailors who step forward for our country when others step back. You're the sailors willing to go to the depths of the ocean to protect all of our freedoms. That is the kind of service that inspires me, it inspires my husband, and I know it inspires millions of Americans in this country. So I am here today not just as a representative of my family, but as a representative of a grateful nation. And I'm going to do my best to honor your service by being a really good sponsor, okay? I'm going to do my job really, really well. I'm going to think about you always. But more importantly, I'm going to use every fiber in my body to make sure that we live in a country that never forgets your service. So I want to thank you again for your unparalleled service to this country. Thank you to all the shipbuilders for the work that you all will do. We are so proud of you. You can see on this stage how many people are proud of you. And I know for every one of you, there are family members who would support and love you every step of the way. So we honor them as well. It is an honor to serve as your sponsor. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mrs. Obama. I'd now like to ask Mrs. Obama to accompany welder Michael McCumber and me to the area where she will inscribe her initials to a steel plate. At that point, Mike will weld the initials onto the plate. Mike joined Electric Boat Quonset Point facility as a welder in 1977. He's now part of a team that builds pressure hulls for Virginia-class submarines. Over the course of his 37-year career, he has worked on Ohio, Los Angeles, Seawolf, and of course, Virginia-class submarines. Altogether, he has contributed to the construction of 56 submarines for the United States Navy. Mike lives in Middletown, Rhode Island with his wife, Mary, and has two grown sons, Michael and Patrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, although the welding will be shielded for your safety, please direct your attention to the video screens and do not stare directly at the welding. For your listening pleasure, the all-electric boat singing group, the Subtones, will now perform Illinois, the Illinois State Song.
Illinois, comes an
And now the First Lady will authenticate her initials.
I declare this keel to be well and truly laid.
Ladies and gentlemen, the initials of Mrs. Obama are now welded in steel, a lasting impression of the bond between her, the Submarine, Illinois, and its crew. May I ask Secretary Mavis to please join us? I'm being assisted by Mr. Sean Davies, Quonset Point's General Manager. Mrs. Obama and Mr. Secretary, we would like each of you to have this keepsake of today's keel lane. It's a practice plate welded by Mike in preparation for today's real event. We hope you use these plates to remind you of the important part you each played in today's ceremony. Thank you, Mrs. Obama. We very much appreciate the effort you've made to participate in this ceremony and joining us in the effort to bring Illinois to life. It has been a privilege to have you with us today as our guest of honor. And thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the keel laying ceremony for the Submarine, Illinois. Thank you for being here. We hope you can join us for the christening of the Illinois next year in Groton.
I'll be here.
All right. Please remain in your seats until all the platform guests have departed, and thank you again for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.